Welcome back, another episode. Episode 9 of the Frasier Reboot revealed Niles and Daphne's biggest failure, making their absence worse. Away from his family in Seattle, Frasier Crane makes his way through his new life in Boston. Martin is no longer in the Emerald City, but his brother and sister-in-law are still there. Considering that Frasier moved to Chicago and has long since lived apart from them, it's nevertheless startling to watch him navigate life without his daily coffee dates with Niles or Daphne's sporadic reality checks. Kelsey Grammer had extended an invitation to David Hyde Pierce and Jane Leaves to participate in the revival behind the scenes, but they declined. Both Niles and Daphne were fantastic additions to the original Frasier program, and if the original plans for the Cheers spin-off had been followed, they both would have never happened. Each of them contributed something novel on their own, both in terms of their interaction with Frasier and how it affected his relationship with Martin. But when combined, they might be among the greatest sitcom love stories. Taking everything into account, it is a huge letdown that neither of them will be featured in the Paramount Plus reboot. However, the fix is in. The 9th episode of the Frasier Reboot manages to make it worse in some way. David acknowledges that his parents coddled him. The Frasier Reboot is trying to start its own Daphne and Niles relationship, which is evidence of how amazing they were. Though it's unclear if it will amount to anything at this point, their son David is a more direct means of maintaining their relevance. As he attends Harvard and is headquartered in Boston, he plays the Crane Moon lineage in the new series. It goes without saying that he spends a lot of time with Freddy, his uncle, and his cousin. David shares traits with his parents, such as Niles' intelligence and social awkwardness and Daphne's eagerness. Because of his involvement, the series is also able to disclose information about the pair after Frasier moved to Seattle. Although David has previously discussed his parents in the revival, his disclosure in the penultimate episode of the first season of the Frasier Reboot is possibly the most damaging to them. The son of Niles and Daphne, who works as Alan's assistant, is intimidated into following Frasier's friend's orders. David is a rule follower, just like his father, but Alan manages to con him into performing the most routine chores. David, rather than being angry, finds the experience enjoyable, stating that he prefers to be treated like an adult rather than a child because his parents were overly indulgent with him. David's negative effects of coddling. Just like his father, uncle, and cousin, David possesses obvious intelligence. He disclosed that, up until Frasier gave him a B, he was a straight-A student in the Frasier Reboot Episode 8, The B Story. Even yet, David behaves more like a child in college than a responsible adult, despite his intelligence. In particular, he finds most social situations difficult, which has a detrimental effect on his dating life. It's hard to pinpoint exactly how David's parents coddled him, but given the typical outcomes of being spoiled, it's likely that his upbringing played a major role in his social struggles. The wonderful thing about David's admission in the fix is that he is actively looking for solutions to deal with the impact of being coddled in his current state of being. It is commendable and demonstrates his commitment to improving himself that he maintains a positive attitude even when Alan is clearly manipulating him. The only negative aspect is that he is easily exploited. If he doesn't learn to be discriminating in the circumstances he puts himself in, he may unintentionally be mistreated. It's still critical that he develop some sense of self-control. The problems with David make Niles and Daphne's absence worse. The Frasier remake has done an excellent job of steadily gaining ground after a rough beginning. Its last stretch is intriguing since it has become better over time. Nevertheless, it would be difficult to locate someone who wouldn't want to see Niles and Daphne return in the upcoming series. The Frasier Reboot conclusion from the Seattle series only features Perry Gilpin's Roz, so the only opportunity to see the couple again will likely come in maybe future episodes. I'm not sure if Grammer will try to recruit them again at this point. In addition to preventing Niles and Daphne from getting back together with Frasier, their absence denies them the opportunity to confront their error in raising David. Frasier and Freddy are present, but they are too preoccupied to help David in his quest to improve himself because they are focused on mending their own relationship. If the couple has a different interpretation of his experience, they will not be able to counter allegations that he was spoiled. They should, at the very least, pay him a visit occasionally while he's in Boston. If not, Daphne and Niles' parenting reputation could be severely damaged by this Frasier Reboot discovery, which is something that nobody wants. For more, subscribe.